Each month, myself and other Irrational Passions members will play through a new game. Modern to retro, obscure to popular. Games we've played before and those we haven't. We'll be hitting checkpoints as we go and discussing our experiences. Play along with us and join in the discussion. This is Video Game Book Club. Welcome, everybody, back to Video Game Book Club. I am once again your host, Scott, and I am joined once more by... I'm going to start over.
Yeah,
well, that didn't flow. Welcome, everybody, back to Video Game Book Club. I am Scott, and I am joined once again by Jarrett and Quin. How's it going, you guys?
Howdy.
It's going.
Good stuff. And we are here to talk about the end of Vanquish. We had the remaining 3 acts we had to play through for this checkpoint. A nice short 2-part series for Video Game Book Club after the headache and never-ending series that was Sonic. So this was very nice. We had to play through all of Act 3, 4, and 5, so it was pretty good. So, Jarrett, how about you give us a rundown of the events of this game, or of this checkpoint?
So, where did we stop? Act 2 ended with us. Did that end with the monorail mission with the sniper rifling?
God, fuck that mission.
Yeah, that's a bad mission.
Most of Act 3, I would argue, is bad.
I would agree.
Didn't
basically,
like fighting the giant tank thing?
The tank thing was fine. It's just like it's the weird pacing of that game is most evident in 3, I think, in Act 3.
Yeah.
Basically, after Russian dudes like, maybe we don't actually need to honor our agreement with America, and you're like, what does that mean? The squad, which features you, the retired football player, now DARPA superhero, and Burns, the one character Stephen Bloom does, and his homies are now trudging deeper into this the fallen city. You meet a lot of weird
robots,
like robot bros and robros. You eventually you find out that there's what's his name, Zaitsev, the doctor, or Candy, who's the doctor, has been kidnapped by Zaitsev in order to recreate the microwave explosion that blew up San Francisco on New York. So your job is to stop them from happening, basically. They're up until that point, the first time you see the doctor, he's getting kind of rushed out by Russian troops, and Burns didn't know that DARPA was actually sent there to rescue him. And they were rescuing him up until that point just because he's the doctor, and he made the suit, so who knows what kind of information they can torture out of him for the Russia to make their own suit. But now both of the army or the Marines and DARPA have like a unified goal, which is to stop what happened to San Francisco from happening to New York. As you go further, you shoot a lot of robot dudes. It really doesn't. The moment really doesn't matter. I promise you.
No,
like it's all really cool. But like the story happening moment to moment doesn't actually matter. Overall, I guess this is late Act 4, Act 5 or something. Burns like blows himself up.
Yeah,
with his sweet
betrays you because he wants to manually shoot the giant microwave laser at Moscow instead.
Because the president told him to.
So what happened? Yeah, it could because at this point he like. As when Sam had his own orders and kept them from the Marines, Burns got his own orders from the president directly. It was that when we get to the microwave, instead of deactivating it, we're using it against Moscow. And Sam was like, "You can't just like microwave human beings. Like we have to stop doing this."
Nah, man, that's.
And Burns was like, "Oh really? Oh, you thought?" And then you have to fight him.
And then shoot a bunch of like humans with jetpacks.
Correct.
So that was
I will
interesting.
say-
It's like, we're going to throw jetpacks at you.
I will say, I liked the opening of Act 4 because I was like, oh, different locale instead of gray-ass city.
Oh, the foresty area that
Yeah,
you crash landed?
I actually like that environment, and I wish they did more with it. But then it was like, oh, I'm out of the forest and back into the city.
Yeah,
Yay!
the forest lasts only long enough for you to dash to the building.
Oh my god.
In the
It lasts long enough for you to want more forest.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It's
just
like
gives you a taste.
you spend 4 hours in this goddamn city and 20 minutes in the forest. Give me the forest.
That was the era though. Like this was 2010.
It really
when
was. Yeah,
grays
where's
and
the forest level,
browns
though?
That was prime color schemes, and to hell with actual color or varied color palettes. So
There's after Burns blows up himself
real
and
quick
basically
with
the rest
Burns, can we just? I have to say Burns must be a Gundam fan because he was decked out basically as the giant nuke Gundam from Stardust Memory, Gundam Physalis. With like his shoes were the same. He had the giant ass shield, the big arms.
Shout out to the deepest cut I've ever heard.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, shout out to Scott being our Austin Walker.
What is this super fucking obscure shout out?
Yeah.
That is for a
Gundam,
specific person.
Yep, one person.
For Austin Walker, yeah, exactly.
Right there, he had those shoes. He had those. He had that.
He had the shield too, and all this. Yeah.
After Burns kills himself in like all of Bravo Company.
Was that Bravo though? I thought that was just generic soldiers sent by the president.
It was my understanding that Bravo Company was the president's like personal hit squad, and he wasn't going to let the rest of Bravo Company Bravo Company was him. So when he made decisions, it was also Bravo Company's decision. So his decision to kill himself was also the decision to kill Bravo Company, because Burns is a man of vision.
He's a man's man.
Yeah. Eventually, you find out Zaitsev actually tells Sam like him and Winters had a secret relationship. Winters was like really supporting Russia, but when the coup happened in Russia, she betrayed Zaitsev and used that coup as like a pretext to declare war on Russia for some reason.
Fuck Russia.
Well, I guess the reason was she wanted to like basically make everyone America. She's like, America rules, and like Russia like trying to upheave itself to be another superpower wasn't going to work for him. For her, and that like the only homogenous sort of superpower in the world should be America. So she preemptively attacked it, or Russia preemptively attacked San Francisco to stop that. And you have to kill a couple of like prototype mech bros, and it turns out like Zaitsev wasn't in any of them. He just controlled them from like a distance, and then he tries to like nuke the space station.
Nukes too.
Yeah, they got nukes and shit.
Everyone's got like pocket-sized nukes. Just
you get on in like an escape pod, and like you meet Elena in real life, and Zaitsev gets away, and Winters kills herself.
Yeah, talk about quite the ending. The lady president of the United States just blowing her brains out and blood splattering on the American flag. It's like, this is the end of my presidency. Blammo. Bleh.
It's like, all right.
Okay, then.
So, an incredible game is what I'm saying.
Yes, this game's a masterpiece.
But I think the interesting thing here is we talked a lot in the first episode about the context of the time period. 2010 was a weird time, both in video games and like geopolitically.
Yeah.
Maybe not weirder than now, but we didn't know that at the time. But this concept of the cover shooter had like taken over. Gears of War like changed the game for everyone.
Yeah.
So
all of our games need a cover. Like every third-person game needed.
If you didn't have like waist-high walls to hide behind, then your game was fucking up.
Were you even a third-person shooter at that point? If you did
Right.
have like hip-high concrete barriers.
And there's a lot about this game that seems trite now, but this was a game that was, I don't want to say anti-cover shooter because there's still cover shooting, but the design was basically like cover shooting wasn't it wasn't the entire game. It was like a means to an end. Yeah. And there were and it almost like encouraged you and almost shamed you out of cover. Because there is an actual stat that tracks how long you spent in cover. And there's so many other cool things you can do outside of cover that you don't actually want to be in it. You get in cover to wait for your shit to recharge, and then you go out and do other cool shit again.
Plus, a lot of the cover is destructible. Like enemies can just blow it up.
Right? Yeah. Most of the cover is like on a time, so on a clock, basically. Especially when there's lots of enemies shooting in your direction, you really only have a couple seconds back there before you can. You can't abuse like the sort of cover the way you could the first Gears of War, at least. Like I know the second and the third got more destructible sort of cover, so they kind of adapted that idea that you don't have to just sit back here all the time. That's not how games came out around that. And to think about and to play this game, almost 10 years later, we sort of, I don't want to say we came full circle, but like we've also kind of redefined what the meta is for shooters now again. Like now shooters are multiplayer only, or they're free to play, or they're single player experiences that like are valued on like replayability, like Hitman. Rainbow Six Siege is like a competitive shooter that is multiplayer only.
Or like a looter shooter. I think looter shooter, like the whole looting and RPG aspect really started ingraining itself into the
Borderlands kind of changed the way we thought about like how to make a shooter play long term. How to keep us coming back to the same game. I think The Division, I guess, is maybe like the culmination of that particular sort of idea, but
I would say Destiny before Division.
Well, I think Destiny's a little different because it's a first-person shooter, and you really can't interact with that game the same way you would a third-person shooter. Like it does not. It plays way more like Halo than it does Gears. Yeah. Because you have to be like, especially in multiplayer, and some of the high-level raids and stuff. Like Destiny does not give you chances to kind of stop and think the way a third-person shooter generally does. Those games are really just about moving so much that you're elusive, or that AI has kind of lost track of you. Where most third-person shooters are like, this wall is solid, so let me just chill back here. But also to think about a game where America is not only, the righteous sort of world, I don't know, hero. It's like as a conceptually, but they're also kind of like this weird that them being this ever-present sort of presence is the problem. You don't see like games didn't back in 2010 and maybe even up to, I would say even up to like 2013. That was like a thing that was happening, like as far as stories were concerned in video games. Like we can think of this game in a more sort of silly sense, and maybe also in a silly sense, Revengeance. Yeah. Where literally like a senator is like the problem. Your Spec Ops: The Line sort of commentaries. Like these all hold up in a way, and I think there was a time when that kind of we kind of like let that go. But playing this again, it's like, wow, like this sounds right. like people were telling these stories before, and then like this sounds right. Especially 3 years removed from Russia attempting to use disinformation campaigns to send our like election into fucking spirals.
And hey, Trump has started the United States Space Force. So
yeah, he literally started the Space Force because this could happen now.
Yeah.
Get on a DARPA.
Right?
Hey man.
But it's interesting. We were talking about like how this game in a time and place was really cool, and how people like were really into this because it felt new then and it felt revolutionary then. And there are parts of it that do not feel that way now, thanks to the fact that we've done a lot of the things Vanquish has done better in other games since then, which you should probably do when you have 10 years removed from it.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of story and plenty of concept in this game that still holds up, I think.
Yeah. In terms of the story, looking back, it's like it has a lot of that sci-fi elements, but when you look at it, it's such a corny, like, typical 80s action movie plot.
Yes.
The American football player is the hero, and he has to take on the evil Russians. It's just in space with, like, an Iron Man suit, but in essence, it's such an 80s plot.
It's so good, Scott.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's 80s in the exact same way all of our anti-Soviet, like, fiction was.
Yeah.
It's Red Dawn, but, like, at a space city.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. With more nukes.
I was just thinking, like, this is, like a great Tom Clancy book was this game. It's just, like...
Yeah.
It plays out so similar to some of those story beats.
And Tom Clancy has a very, like, predictable, or maybe not even predictable, in that, like, Tom Clancy kind of not invented, but popularized our sort of opinion of, like, how, like, the American position in global sort of military events. Like, the reason we look this way, and this is almost like but more and maybe not even directly satirical, but kind of like a comedic version of the Tom Clancy opinion of America's position when it comes to war, like space war or like any war. All the players are still involved, but like, and even like Clancy wrote plenty of stories where like Americans were in on the bullshit. But the idea that like only a few good men can solve the problem when they're behind enemy lines, and those good men are probably like the kind of Americans that we tend to hero worship.
The all-American hero.
Literally, Sam is a fucking football player.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to see that sort of trope still be a thing, and that sort of trope not get old, right? Like, because the 80s Red Dawn thing is old, but like not necessarily the counter commentary about like how
it's just a funny story. Like, I would love to see what a Vanquish could do, like a Vanquish 2 could do with the refinements of 10 years worth of game mechanics and game design.
Yeah.
Because they leave it open for a sequel.
Yeah, they were like, yo, we're definitely getting a sequel.
Like, well, yep.
This is one of those games I could see them doing like a Switch port of, just to reinvigorate the franchise, maybe after Bayonetta 3. And then, if it does well, then be like, Vanquish 2! Now we're in an underwater city where the evil Russians have taken over.
Yeah, it's just like, the ending is just so fucking anticlimactic. It's like, boom, the president's dead. Sam and the blonde lady flying off towards Earth. It's like,
when the evil Russian gets away in his escape pod. Very Dr. Wily style.
It's,
there is incredible, like, that there literally is no resolution.
Yeah!
Nothing's changed except Burns is dead.
And the giant microwave laser is destroyed, which I think just is going to spell all sorts of other shit for Earth when that comes crashing down.
It's like, but it's like, yo, it's over. The journey's done. Sam and the blonde lady are like, it's for yay! It's like, nah, there's a lot of shit that's going down. Yeah, this game is so good.
Vanquish is good, y'all.
It's fun because it just doesn't take itself seriously. Like, I love these kind of stories when they don't take themselves seriously and just go over the top. Like when Sam gets thrown off in the final cutscene, like before the final fight or whatever. And he's just hanging there, and he takes out a cigarette, lights it up while he's just dangling from the rubble. It's like, cigarettes make you feel alive.
Yeah.
And then he pulls himself up, and he sees the two robots.
Also, I know he's wearing a fucking super suit, But that's got to be very hard. Is just holding your whole body up in this like 100-pound suit, and pulling out a cigarette and just lighting it. It's like, yo, this.
He does that great video game shit too, where like he pulls a cigarette out, lights it, smokes it like for 3 seconds, and then throws it away.
Yeah.
Can we also shout out the disco dancing robots?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're real good.
It's like, that's random, but that's cool. So I just stood there and watched them for a while dance. That was kind of fun.
That's how you know Shinji Mikami was on one.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, all right, but what about ones with disco lights? And nobody was like,
And then this turret robot's actually like a boombox. Transformers.
Yeah,
It's like that. It's like Soundwave. It's just blasting tunes.
Shinji, maybe we don't do that. And he was like, well, maybe you're fired.
Maybe.
And I like that energy.
We did.
Right.
And then we'd have some other robots just chilling there smoking like peyote or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just chilling while the other robots disco dance for them,
This is the same energy that gave us a weapon that's literally a guitar in Devil May Cry 3.
Yeah. And a fedora.
And a fedora, yeah. This is what we need.
I have questions, actually.
Okay.
What the fuck?
So literally, a common trope in Devil May Cry is Dante kills a creature and it's like a demon, but he turns that demon, or the demon turns itself into like a weapon. So he uses its power to kill other demons, basically. And after a while, by the third game, we're like running out of weapon types, really. So, in a brilliant stroke of genius, someone decided, what if we stopped using weapons that you would assume would be weapons, like a sword or something with an edge or something with a giant club? What if we just found things like a guitar? What if this siren sort of demon temptress lady turned into a guitar that you literally have to like play notes of, and if you play it hard enough, like lightning happens. What if also you just found a briefcase that turned into a bunch of things, like maybe like a little mech, or maybe you just opened it and things just jumped out of it? What if you found a fedora, which is also a scarf?
Yeah. You put it on, you get a magic scarf.
You kind of like samba around.
No, it's like full on
arena.
Michael Jackson. Like,
He
has the whole Michael Jackson dance cutscene.
And you just kind of crotch chop and like moonwalk your way through battle. These are the kind of people that make Vanquish, and I respect it.
Video games are ahead of their time.
They're real good.
Yeah. Play Devil May Cry 5 and 3.
Play them all.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 isn't great, and 2 got like ported to the Switch recently, apparently. So I mean, that's a thing. And 1 is kind of like, after especially playing like 4 and 5, 1 is like kind of hard to play.
1 is still trying to take itself a bit seriously. 2 especially. And then 3 is just like, oh, well, you just...
3 is like, oh, this is Devil May Cry. Let me just chill.
Whatever.
But 1 is like just physically difficult to play, because it's like, they haven't figured out how to make all this stuff work in like a very ergonomic way.
Mm-hmm.
So you can fight Phantom like for an hour and feel like a giant asshole, because you just can't do the cool shit you wanted to do, because it's just harder to do in 1.
What gameplay mechanic from like the last couple years would you like to see implemented in a Vanquish 2?
I would like to see Vanquish as an asymmetrical shooter. Like, it has a multiplayer mode where one person's Sam, and then a bunch of other people are different sorts of mechs.
Blue mechs and red mechs and
like someone has to be the one of the big dudes with the mace or something.
That'd be cool.
Like I think it'd be difficult to do because clearly, like, Sam is supposed to be way better than these people. But like,
Yeah.
I think you can do something like a stock system, like the enemy is just a team of robots, and like you can play whatever sort of version robots you want versus one Sam, and maybe the robots themselves have to like capture points to earn, some sort of currency to buy better robots to be.
Mm-hmm.
There are games that have done something like this before. I think the old Metal Gear Online used to do something like this. Well, not the old one, the one that came out with 5.
Mm-hmm.
You had to basically earn the ability to play as a special character on your team if you allowed them. So you started out as a normal ass soldier, but you had to go find things on the map to like be Snake. Something like that I think would be neat. There's also like you can turn it into like you can try to like Tomb Raider it up and like maybe make it like more open worldly, more RPG-y. I don't know that really plays into Vanquish's strengths. You'd kind of have to change the core concept of that game, I think.
Yeah.
It's hard because like Vanquish is not like they don't really make straightforward like single player third person shooters like they used to.
Yeah.
Like there is no direct there's no great sort of analog to that game nowadays. We've kind of just generally moved away from making games like that.
Mm-hmm. I could see a Vanquish 2 if they adopted a similar gameplay style as Control, kind of the Metroidvania-esque exploration, upgrading your suit kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that could be really cool, and you could incorporate a lot of neat suit upgrades for Sam. I think that would be really cool.
I was thinking something more along the lines of like an XCOM, like an isometric
like a strategy game.
Yeah, I think that'd be like very cool.
I think something in that world would be neat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like you control Sam or whatever, and it's like 2 other dudes in super suits, but it's a fuck ton of dudes, like a ton of enemies you have to face. I think that'd be like cool because that's more management and like assessing what you have and seeing, like using more of those abilities instead of run in, shoot. You know what I mean? You actually like have to plan out, and I think it'd be cool.
I would like that as like maybe a spin-off title, but I think Vanquish 2, like if there is one, it has to keep that fast-paced shooting aspect that Platinum's known for. But I like where your head's at, and I would love like a Vanquish style XCOM as like
so cool.
a side title.
Yeah,
I could see it as like a Warframe too.
Yeah,
like
that would be cool.
Something that plays into the strengths or plays into the meta of today, where you kind of make a game that people have to keep coming back to. I think Warframe basically is Vanquish, just not as difficult, and the encounters aren't as like hands-on sort of designed very well. I think Warframe is way more MMO than it is like action game in a lot of ways. But you still do like wall running and like knee sliding and cool like acrobatic ninja ass shit. And I think Vanquish could be adapted to feel something like that.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Have a bunch of different DARPA suits that could do all
like
sorts of things.
It could be several years later, like the president is dead, but the legacy of DARPA's like super suit division is still around, and like there's all types of just different enemies. Like maybe DARPA's like not an enemy of the state, but like maybe they found like a rogue sort of military that was working under Winters that is an enemy of the state, and now you have different factions and shit. Like it could totally work.
Like the Bravo squad's gone rogue.
Right. Shinji Mikami, hire me, coward.
Yeah.
Do it.
I would also say if they do a sequel, I want to see more of this fucking lore. Give me more of this world, please, God.
More that's not just a dilapidated city.
Yeah. Give me more.
Give me more
like,
forest levels.
I don't know, like
give
what
me more
lore
forest levels.
Like what lore did they really introduce that you're like, I need more of that.
I want to know more.
Like
I want to know why they chose Gideon. I want to know why. Like,
because
I
he's
want to
the
know
all-American football player that hurt himself.
Yeah, I almost don't want to know why they chose Gideon. There's like no good answer to that
I don't
question.
care if he's like, he had the right genetic code in order to unlock the foretellers ancient robots. And
unless they do it like
he was chosen.
Like old like Ant-Man, where like this suit wasn't made for him, but he stole it, so now it's his, I guess.
Yeah, some Scott Lang shit.
Or some bullshit, like he like literally tripped into it or something, and now it's on him, and it just like reacts to his body now, I guess.
And it's just the entire game's him trying to get it off.
Yeah, he actually can't get out of the suit.
Yeah.
It stinks and it's sweaty.
I want to know more about this world. That's what I want to know.
Like anything else, basically?
Yeah, like, why was there a colony in the fucking, in space? Like, I know, obviously, yo, sci-fi, whatever, it's bullshit. Like, give me why. I want to read some documents and, like, you know, figure things out on my own.
I'm pretty
You're
glad
giving
like,
Vanquish
pickups.
way too much credit.
Yeah.
It's like, just, like, Japan loves things with space colonies. Like, from Gundam to this to, like, Macross to all sorts of things. It's just like, fuck it, just put a space colony up there. We have robots, we have to have a space colony. It happens.
It's gonna be fun.
Yes.
Why? That's because they're fucking awesome. That's why. We need some
Space
place
colonies
to
rule.
Yeah, we need
Space is
those
pretty
shots where it's like you're looking forward and you see the city on the ceiling. We love that.
I love that. Love that shit.
Love that shit.
You look outside the window and there's Earth.
Wow. Vanquish is a good video game.
It is. It does. I'm just like I said earlier. It doesn't take itself seriously, and that's why I like it so much. I will say though, this game goes by so much quicker once you have like a fully leveled weapon, like high leveled weapon. Because I was just mowing through stuff.
Yeah. It takes like 3 bullets to kill anything, and you're like, good.
Yeah.
With my heavy machine gun, it's just like it's just dead everywhere. So,
I will say, the unknown bosses, whatever the fuck they're called, they're just called unknown. Fuck those fights. I hate them.
oh, the junk robots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those suck. Because let me tell you, the camera in Vanquish is not good. So when they go on like the
2010.
ceiling,
Yeah, it's not the best.
when they go on the ceiling, oh my god. And also, there's like I have 2 rules when it comes to boss fights. Don't have the ground like get cut out from underneath you, and don't have instant kills in boss fights. That's just a no from me. So, yeah.
But
no.
don't you want to know the lore of why they have those instant kills? Like,
No,
why,
actually.
Like, what was the purpose of those moves in their programming? Like, why?
I don't give a fuck about the programming.
Why would you build a robot like this?
Yeah.
With vorpal weapons.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck those fights is what I'm saying.
What was the creator's inspiration? You know, Socrates.
Socrates.
I was definitely.
I'm waiting for the think piece that like draws a line straight from Socrates to Vanquish.
7 degrees of Socrates.
Yeah.
Connect any game to Socrates' theories.
Mm-hmm.
Someone hit up Brian Artis. Hit up Nobisham.
Yeah.
He'll get that started for you.
Not hook me up.
We're gonna have to put a rule that he can't use Smash Brothers Ultimate as a go-to converter.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a cheap win.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Socrates is part of the next wave of characters.
He's
yeah, for sure.
He's probably an assist trophy.
Yeah.
So if Socrates is an assist trophy, when do we get the Bill and Ted assist trophy?
Professor Candide.
There's that new movie coming out. You never know. And I think
that's
there was a
what
Bill and
they
Ted NES game, wasn't there?
Was there?
Stay back.
Holy shit.
We can't trust the commander.
Yeah, there was.
Why are you working
Wow.
with the military?
Hell yeah.
Frag.
Damn. 91.
Oh, God. I stopped it in time.
Bill and
sounds like a
Ted's
mistake.
excellent video game adventure.
Hell yeah.
I wonder if Keanu Reeves even knows it exists.
Maybe.
Oh, that'll be the first question I ask him if I ever meet him in person.
Hey man, did you know this game from
it was made by
1991
LJN, so you know it's quality.
Oh yeah, that's all they do.
That's not a good company, I take it.
Buying boxes now.
Oh, they have some No, they're not.
So, like,
Why would the president order this?
they have a stretch of... They have some good ones. I remember the Karate Kid game being alright. I think Maximum Carnage was theirs. That one was alright. They have a bunch of really bad wrestling games.
Yeah.
Um,
Wasn't the Back to the Future game theirs?
Which one?
probably.
Oh, they did Maximum Carnage, Spider-Man and Venom. That wasn't
Yeah.
too bad. That was hard though.
They did Alien... One of the Alien games, I don't remember.
Alien 3.
They did do Back to the Future. I think probably not... I think only, like, for the second movie, though.
Ooh, they made True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger. What a strange movie game.
Yo, they made a Roger Clemens baseball
Yeah, the
game?
Roger Clemens MVP baseball. That was
Baseball?
called?
Hell yeah!
WWF Rage in the Cage.
Rage in the Cage, that's a bad game. Superstars is a bad game. I'm pretty sure they made that too. Royal Rumble, I think they made. That one's alright.
WWF Super WrestleMania on Super Nintendo. King of the Ring.
Yo, I love how in this game there's just like they have the actual baseball players, but they have nicknames because they can't use
Because they can't use the actual
Oh, yeah.
likenesses. I think the SNES Major League Baseball was why. Because there's another baseball game that came out on Super Nintendo that
Yeah.
did have all the likenesses, and they could not get the license from it. Because that shit was expensive.
Yep. Well, hey, baseball players are expensive.
And I imagine that's why you don't see baseball games today. Like, why only one developer for one console makes baseball games today. It's because nobody wants to spend money on that shit.
Guess what? Sports are expensive.
Sports licenses are expensive.
Yes, they are.
And sports viewership is going down.
Yes. So tell me how those economics work.
Yes. As long as the seats get filled, that's all that matters.
That's all that's going to matter, because there's all to be left.
I don't even know if
They're out
some
there
teams
minding.
do that. At being from Detroit, I can tell you that not many people go to Tigers games. And Lions games.
Well, yeah, that's because
That's
Lions aren't good.
Lions and Tigers.
Football. It's not my world. Not my realm.
Sorry, bro. Anyway, Vanquish, kind of like sports.
Yeah.
It is kind of.
Yeah. He played football in high school
He did.
before he became
That's the
Dark Iron
connection.
Man. There's
It's
a
true.
connection. Right there.
Did y'all like play the credits?
I did.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I don't think you're allowed to leave unless you play the credits.
Yeah, you don't unlock the God Hard mode or anything unless you beat it.
All this is worthless unless you play the credits.
You don't
Which
get the
is so
trophy, I don't think, until you beat the credits.
That's so. Also, why was that a thing that they
I
decided
don't
to
know.
do?
I don't
And
know.
honestly, it's actually something that happens in Platinum games a lot.
Really?
Is there just like playable credit sequences?
That's so.
I think Bayonetta 2 has one.
Nier has one. I think.
Nier Automata has
Automata,
one
yeah.
that's like a part of the actual narrative.
Yeah. Which is weird.
I believe Revengeance has one too,
Smash Brothers
Or-
has one.
where you can
Smash
like
Brothers
actually
has
slice people's names in the credits with like riding sword.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a fucking weird.
Yo, video games are wild.
Just play Platinum games, you'll be fine. That's not true. Don't play the Korra game. The Transformers game's
I don't
alright.
think you can play the core game anymore. I think
That's
that
yeah. I think they took it off like digital. Like
Digital,
I think the
so
license,
you'd have
it was up.
you'd
something
have to
like
somehow find a physical copy. The Transformers one was good. I
That
like
game was
one.
alright. The Ninja Turtles game was okay. But every other Platinum game is good. Just play those.
Bye, Suki.
What about Anarchy Reigns and the Wonderful 101?
Wonderful 101 is good.
Yeah, it's like Pikmin with superheroes.
See, I don't like Pikmin.
You might like this one though. It's not as sort of. It's not as Lemmings as Pikmin is.
You'd like directly control your mob of superheroes with the joystick, and then you fight kind of Platinum game style and everything. That's one game that A needs to come to Switch and B needs a second.
Yes, because it's stranded on the Wii U, and I don't have.
Yeah, womp womp. Anarchy Reigns is fine. That's a game that you can get a lot out of if you replay it a bunch, but like it's not after like the 4th playthrough. You're like, I don't really want to play this game anymore because nothing really changes after that. But it's a lot like Automata in that there are like as the game ends, when you play it again, the next or as these chapters end, quote unquote, it sort of starts another storyline that happens sort of adjacent to the chapter you're playing now. And unlike Nier, where it's clearly like literally another part of the story, in Anarchy Reigns, you're playing the same guy starting from the same position, but because you unlock something in your one playthrough based on that ending, the next playthrough you'll have will have more options during the actual playthrough to find other endings.
This sounds like the Stories, the Path of Destiny's game.
Kind of, but Stories is again a game designed around the fact that you're going to play these stories more and more often, and you can literally see the paths that you're going down in Stories. Where this is like kind of like that without letting you see any of it. So you kind of have to just know to go that this particular area might be open now, and somebody might be there. So you should go talk to that person.
Nah.
I totally forgot that Platinum Games is teaming up with Square for that Babylon's Fall
Yeah,
game.
That's gonna be something. Whatever Square touches is now dubious. It seems these past couple of years.
I mean, we have that. All we've had so far is that really cryptic trailer from E3 last year.
Mm-hmm.
TGS
is next week, right?
TGS is this week.
Oh, 15th, right?
Yeah.
Is that?
It's like the 12th through the 15th. So I could see us.
That's the perfect time to see more.
Yeah, and it's on the Platinum Games website. It's still saying release date 2019. So.
Yeah, they're running out of 2019, my guy. So
that's 2019.
Pretty ballsy.
Can't wait for that game to come out next to Doom, and everyone ignore it.
Yep. I think that's
I forgot
too
Doom
different.
comes out this year.
Oh yeah.
How do you forget?
Yo, dog, I got a lot going on, right? I'm not here for this.
I don't have too much going on to forget that Doom is coming out.
Excuse me, sir.
I expect to ignore every game from now on until Doom. Which is not true, because I forgot to reach out for Blasphemous. I'm going to do that. But
Yeah, that game looks good. Probably going to include that as my third game on Indie Highlights. Hashtag spoilers.
That game is a
Spoilers.
no from me. I'm good.
Yeah, it
Hard
looks too
video
scary
games.
for you.
it's too spoopy for Quinn.
Not on just. I don't fuck with hard games.
Yet you played Vanquish, which isn't that hard, actually. I don't
No.
And he played it on
had
easy.
I had
That's true.
Well,
That's fair.
I played it on casual because I was on a time crunch to make sure get in time for that first episode. So I didn't want to.
You get what you're here for anyway in casual, which is just to be like Superman, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want y'all to have an obituary for me on the first episode. All right?
True. That's fair. We don't do that anymore, Quinn.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I have nothing left to say about Vanquish, except you should go play it.
Yeah.
Robert Burns, my favorite character in this whole game.
Why?
I don't know. I just like his demeanor. I like his. Like,
I just like the
I
cut
don't
of his
know.
jib.
That's the only
I like
name
the
I
cut
could
of-
remember. So I was just like favorite character.
I'm buying what he's selling.
yeah.
To be fair, there's only like 4 names in that game.
Yep. I'm
I name
here
them
for
all?
like. Yeah. Go
There's
for 'em.
Sam. There's Elena. There's Burns. There's Zaitsev. And Hillary Clinton.
And there's Candine too.
Elizabeth Winters.
Winters. And
Oh,
yeah,
so
the
you
doctor.
mean Warren?
Yes.
Okay. Damn, this game was ahead of its time.
The most lit thing ever is that Elizabeth Warren is elected president, and then it turns out she's a Russian agent the whole time.
And then she just kills herself at the end of the game.
Now Vanquish is like
With
different.
a deagle, with a desert
Yeah.
eagle too, nonetheless.
That she just keep in the Oval Office just in case.
Yeah. Right next to the telephone.
That was a
Yeah,
situation
you gotta-
room, I think. It wasn't the Oval
Oh yeah,
Office.
it wasn't. It was just like long table that she's just alone at all times.
Yeah.
Also, where the fuck was the Secret Service?
Well, it was
Busy.
probably like one of those
Busy, yeah, sure.
super classified things that's under a bunker somewhere that's able to resist a giant microwave laser.
Yeah, for some reason.
But no, I'm
Science.
here for Robert's Burns' like boomer mentality of like take care of the country before anyone.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sam Gideon's all right. He smokes cigarettes.
He does.
He sounds like Charlie Sheen. I just kept hearing Charlie Sheen.
He kind of looks like Charlie
Yeah,
Sheen,
he
too.
does.
he's like budget Charlie Sheen. I guess this was when 2.5 Men was pretty popular, wasn't it?
Yeah. 2010. That was
Maybe,
2.5 Men territory, I think.
Yeah. So,
That was before his meltdown,
yeah. What?
but he was still marketable, I guess.
Yeah, it ran from 2003 to 2015. So yeah, it was rocking it.
And that was like right in the
2010.
middle. Yeah.
Man.
Huh.
Totally is Charlie Sheen. But
Imagine making your main character Charlie Sheen.
I know
Rough.
Shinji Mikami doesn't give a fuck. He does
Sure
what he
doesn't.
wants. He's like, I'm gonna have disco dancing robots, and Charlie Sheen's gonna save the United States from an evil Russian robot.
I love
Yeah.
it.
And Elizabeth Warren, Hillary Clinton.
Take my money.
And then we're gonna fly in space at the end and give no closure, because if it sells well, we'll do another one.
Yeah. This whole game didn't have to happen because there's no resolution at all.
Yeah.
Later.
Peace out.
Did the game sell well, by the way?
No.
No. I think it came out like between a lot of bigger games.
Yeah, it literally came and went. Critics liked it. A lot of them loved it, but it didn't sell very well, and there's really no opportunity for it to do anything because 2010 was like kind of too stacked.
Yeah. I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, so there's another third-person shooter. Mass Effect 2 came out that year. Alan Wake, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Yeah, nobody was
BioShock
talking
2,
about.
God of War 3.
Not a single
Halo
person
Reach,
gave a shit
Fallout
about
New
Vanquish.
Vegas. Battlefield Bad Company. Fable 3.
Oh, 2010 was all right.
Was Bad Company 1 in 2010?
Yeah?
Fuck. God, I played that game at launch.
Oh, Bad Company. I think it was Bad Company 2. My bad.
Oh, I was about
Company
to say,
2.
damn, like, whew. Bad Company 2. Good video game.
Mm-hmm.
Underrated video game too. That's what I'll say.
I don't know if they're really all that underrated because they have such like a passionate fan base. It's just like
Yeah, I've never
fucking
seen a
make
person
Bad
like
Company
doesn't
3.
like that game. Yeah, I feel like everyone, and whenever you say it, if you scream it at a con, people just like lose their fucking mind.
Yeah.
Whenever EA announces or teases a new Battlefield game, everyone hopes it's Bad Company 3.
God.
It
never
never is.
Those are the two things I pray for. Splinter Cell and Bad Company.
See,
Yeah,
at this
you're
point,
gonna
I
be
would
very
not.
disappointed.
I wouldn't want those. I wouldn't want Battlefield Bad Company 3 at this point because it's made by today's EA and never. I don't. Trust
I don't care if they just fucking ported them. Like,
And add microtransactions and loot boxes to old games just because to get your money.
yeah, I don't give a fuck. Hell yeah.
Battlefield Bad Company would work as a free to play game, I think.
Yeah, it could.
They had that free to play 1942 like cartoony-esque Battlefield.
Mhm.
That did
Yeah,
once.
that was alright.
Yeah, wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. But we've gone off on quite a number of tangents
Yep.
tonight. So before we go off on another one, who knows where that will lead, we are going to call Vanquish closed. And now, here's the announcement of the next game and final game of Season 1 of Video Game Book Club.
Hi friends, Jessica from Irrational Passions here. Now those of you who know me know October is my favorite month. The leaves are crunchy, the movies are spooky, and everything tastes like pumpkins. What's not to love? Oh, and also, no big deal, but it's totally my birthday month too. October 4th. So how cool is it that the first time that I get to pick the game that we're diving into on the next Video Game Book Club is October? Naturally, I wanted to pick something slightly ghoulish, but tame enough for those of us who might not be emotionally equipped for full-blown horror games, like yours truly. To me, it just had to be Luigi's Mansion. Oh, and did I mention that the third title in the series is coming out at the end of the month? Just another reason I'm incredibly excited to start playing. Luigi's Mansion is one of my absolute favorite games on one of my absolute favorite consoles. It's fun, It's clever, and it finally gives our boy Green Mario a chance to shine. For those of you playing along with us at home, the game is available on GameCube as well as Nintendo DS. We're going to be splitting our coverage of Luigi's Mansion into 2 episodes, with the first episode ending right after the Boolossus boss battle. It's a weird thing to say, Boolossus boss battle. Anyway, we are really looking forward to this. We hope that you guys are too, and we hope that you'll be playing along with us. And we will see you on the next episode. Bye!
Yup, we are ending Season 1 of Video Game Book Club with Luigi's Mansion, the first one, and we will be playing up through beating Boolossus. Yeah, I think that's Boolossus. Like Colossus and Boo? Boolossus, yeah, we'll go with that. But yes, that will be the final game of this season of Video Game Book Club, so we hope you look forward to that, and I hope you've enjoyed our discussion with Vanquish. Also, I didn't mention earlier, but currently Mike is streaming some Zelda, so that's why he couldn't be here for our charity event for She Writes Love on Her Arms, or the Suicide Prevention Awareness Week charity stream that we're doing. So we hope that you will check that out as well. But, Quinn, Jarrett, where can people find you on the internet? What you got cooking?
Jarrett, you want to go first?
I am at Jarrett John on Twitter. I don't know what I have cooking. I'll be honest with you.
Cool.
Just follow me on Twitter. You'll see all the goods there.
You hear all about how Jarrett would punch King Arthur in the dick if he made a peanut butter jelly sandwich with
100%. You see this thing that he pulled out of the lake that blesses him not only with all of England, but with sort of like legendary power. And he's like, you know what? I just really don't have a knife anywhere to spread peanut butter on some bread. So I guess Excalibur has to
What if he cut the sandwich with Excalibur?
That's just as bad.
Just as bad?
Yo,
just
that's a real man right there. You need a knife? Cut.
That's like putting a giant spoiler on your like Honda Civic.
Yup.
That is cutting a
PB&J
with Excalibur would be a totally dude bro move. Be like,
let
me just pull out this, just Excalibur, I just picked it up.
And the shitty thing is, then he just cut my hand off, and then like, what did I really do for anyone? Nothing. But like, the flex is unnecessary, and someone has to check him. If it has to be me, it has to be me.
Yeah. There you go. I believe in you.
Mm-hmm.
Quinn, what do you got cooking? Where can people find you on the internet?
Y'all can find me on Twitter at @quantum_arbiter. I don't know. Actually, no, I have nothing cooking right now. I sent a thing to Jarrett that he needs to get back to me on.
That's cooking. You could consider that cooking. It's like a slow simmer,
Yeah,
a couple months simmer.
I'm gonna go. I'm actually gonna go cook some chicken thighs after this, because chicken thighs are the best part of the chicken, next to the wings, of course. But no.
It's a heavy take.
I got.
Cool. Good stuff.
Is it though, Jarrett? Is it?
I don't know. It felt spicy. I don't know, but
now,
actually,
do you have brown tea with your chicken?
No, I don't.
A great question.
That's the real question.
No, I got some diet ginger ale sitting in my fridge. So
Interesting choice.
There you go. Chicken thighs.
There you go.
That's like a serial killer meal. It's like I have chicken thighs and diet
ginger ale.
Is there plastic sheets laid out like on your floor when you eat it?
No. I'm gonna have some cauliflower rice with it too.
You're just gonna stare at your mirror.
Man,
watch yourself eat.
It's not cauliflower rice. Just call it cauliflower like pieces. It's like it's just pureed like really small pieces of cauliflower.
Whatever. I just buy the Green Giant bag. I throw it in the steamer, put it in a pan, and I sauce it up.
Do you think Lieutenant Burns is he a lieutenant? Or is he a captain?
Lieutenant Commander.
Do you think Lieutenant Commander Burns would approve of your cauliflower rice?
Or your diet ginger ale? I don't think so.
Maybe, because I throw jalapenos and cotija cheese in my cauliflower rice.
I don't know.
I think he'd be like, "The damn kids, you damn hippies, eat real rice."
Because he's a boomer.
Back in my day, we used to just bite cows in the ass and call it dinner.
Yeah. Anyways, video games.
Yeah, video games. Vanquish. That's what it does to us. But for me, everybody, you can find me on Twitter at SolidSnake120. You can also find me occasionally taking over our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Irrational Passions. You can also find all of Video Game Book Club over on various podcast services, our website, irrationalpassions.com, and YouTube at youtube.com/irrationalpassions. We hope you enjoyed it. You can also find me at RPG University, my new RPG-focused podcast where I talk to guests about favorite RPG games that we have fond memories for. So we hope you enjoyed that as well. But one more time, our next game will be Luigi's Mansion up through Boolossus. So look forward to that, and have a good one, everybody. Thanks for stopping by.